Welcome! Today we are going to talk about why villains do movies better than heroes, because who doesn't love a crazy person with a complex backstory and an axe to grind? You're listening to Open Here, a podcast produced by Pack TV. I'm Tiff Phillips. Let's get started. Hi friends, hope all is well and wonderful. I'm pretty pumped about this next one. We're talking about the bad guys, or girls, because evil is an equal opportunity employer. But who doesn't love themselves a good villain? Their wit, their style, their obsession with power, their incredible work ethic. I mean, do you ever see these guys take a coffee break? No, they are devoted to their life of crime. Plus, they are really one of the most important elements to any story and are often better than the hero themselves. Don't agree? Fight me. I mean, with your words, because I'm a delicate flower. All right, let me state my case. Number 1, villains have better style. From the Joker's pinstriped purple suit and green hair to Maleficent's sculpted devil-horned leather cloak, nothing says I'm a villain more than a kick-ass costume. I mean, are you a supervillain if you're not wearing a costume? No, you're just a bank robber. You're not the bank robber. It's just clear that evil folks wear way better clothes because when you're a crazy mofo, you have the freedom to wear what you want. Public image? Psh, you just tried to throw a school bus full of children off a cliff. You don't care about your image. We could all learn a thing or two from villains, not so much the killing and stealing parts because those are morally questionable, but the freedom of not caring about what others think about us. You think the Riddler cares if people think he only wears green every day? Nope. Wouldn't we all love to be wearing our tube tops with pride, not worrying about what Jennifer from book club says about us behind our backs? Ah, dreams. Number 2, villains have better leadership skills. Whereas many heroes or superheroes tend to fly solo, haha, see what I did there, villains tend to have a group of straggly-looking, slightly dumb thugs that do the villain's bidding for them. Sometimes it's a flock of flying monkeys, sometimes it's eels or a pack of hyenas, or a tough-looking loner with a very narrow skill set. Most of the time, it's just a ragged group of fools that with mommy issues. But seriously, have you ever seen a group of goons join a club faster than when a villain reels them in? Nope. Side note, cronies have the best names. Chunk, Oddjob, Bebop. Come on, that's amazing. It's like the writers were drunk one night and decided they were going to name their characters after sound effects. Throughout history, the Joker has always been able to get groups of men to join him. Sometimes they're in clown costumes, sometimes they look like they're about to do cosplay at a convention, but nonetheless, these guys are loyal to him. Why? Well, because they all have one thing in common. They can't stand Batman, and they know they can't get Batman alone. So the Joker makes them see that if they come together, they can destroy that bad guy. That takes some serious vision and charisma to get a herd of heathens to learn teamwork. Wonder what that staff retreat looks like. Number 3, villains are smarter than heroes. Think about it. It usually takes an entire movie for the hero to catch up with the villain. Sometimes it's even the end of the trilogy or 3 trilogies. Star Wars, for example. Do I need to give the summary of Star Wars? Like, really? All right. In a galaxy far, far away, there's a civil war going on between rebels and a fleet called the Imperial Forces. The Imperial Forces are a really big, really well-equipped army all about tyranny and destroying any type of civilization through the universe. Their leader is a dude in a mask named Darth Vader, and together they capture a princess. I mean, she's really the princess. She calls out for help, and it reaches a kid named Luke Skywalker, and together he and a handsome devil named Han Solo, along with a motley crew of pissed-off revolutionaries, fight back. Pew, 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 lots of fighting, a pinch of little bit of romance, and one epic adventure later, and you have the most incredible piece of art ever made, according to me. I stand by that. Why use Darth Vader as an example? Well, up until the end of The Return of the Jedi, the last installment of the original trilogy, Darth Vader is ahead of our ragtag group of protagonists for the entire thing. He catches them off guard when they go to Cloud City for refuge. This dude has got a lot of foresight, and when you can anticipate your opponent's next move, well, that makes you the smartest guy or gal in the room, and really good at chess. In addition, he's smart enough to command a massive military fleet, despite having a major deformity. I mean, his suit and helmet breathe for him. He also is a skilled engineer and speaks several languages. I love my man Han Solo, but dude can barely string a set of words together to make a sentence. Number 4, villains have more complexity, which makes them more relatable. Villains are complex creatures. They are who they are, usually because of a complicated backstory of what happened to them as a kid. Their taste for revenge usually stems from a pivotal moment of tragedy in their lives, which makes them more interesting. A prime example of this was seen in Disney's 2014 Maleficent. In this origin story, Disney tells the tale of how the evil fairy godmother from Sleeping Beauty became so evil. One minute she's a fairy in a magical forest, the next she's being backstabbed and betrayed by her friend and the future king / Sleeping Beauty's father when he strips her of her wings. But not only does he strip her of her wings, but he also strips her of her identity. How do you go and be a fairy without wings? At this point, Maleficent's desire for revenge becomes completely understandable. We can all get down with this idea because who hasn't been wronged at one point or another? Have we ever cursed a princess on her 16th birthday so that she pricks her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and dies? No. But have many of us thought about ways that we can get our identity back after someone pulled the rug from under us? Yes. And while we think that we are the folks who are devoted to doing good, we are in many cases more likely to associate ourselves with the antagonist. Because in a world that has a barrage of happy, everything is wonderful social media photos, we all have a dark side, and many of us see villains as a chance to explore the parts of us that we don't often tap into. And don't get me wrong, good always wins in the end, as it should. But sometimes if we deny ourselves those negative feelings, they come out in really terrible ways. Speaking of good, let's head to number 5. Number 5, villains can sometimes turn out good, which makes them more interesting than their hero counterparts. Blah, 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 we all know heroes are good from the jump. They're righteous people, sometimes aliens, that save babies from burning buildings and hold up trains with their superhuman strength. But imagine starting off with such an evil disposition, such a disdain for humankind, and evolving into someone who seeks to right their wrongs and pursue good. For example, we see this in Dr. Seuss's beloved story, turned TV movie, turned live action movie, turned cartoonish movie, The Grinch. The Grinch starts off as an old crotchety hermit who lives in a cave separate from the cheerful townspeople of Whoville. His contempt for Christmas and happiness in general leads him to pose as Santa and steal all the things that bring the town holiday joy. But inspired by a little Cindy Lou Who and the Whovians' perseverance to have a great Christmas despite not having things, the Grinch experiences happiness and changes for the better. Now, this isn't always the case. I don't see Joker leaving a life of crime anytime soon and becoming a responsible citizen of Gotham. However, when this transition does occur, it's so much more interesting than having been good the entire time. Watching this evolution unfold is the truest story of humankind, and it's kind of inspiring. If the most miserable, evil people can turn good, we have a chance too. I too would like my heart to grow 3 sizes. I mean, not literally, that seems like a terrible medical condition. I think the most important thing villains teach us on a very extreme level is that there is a freedom in being yourself. I mean, I'm not saying you should go on a robbing spree or kidnap 101 Dalmatians or put a princess in a coma with a poisonous apple. No, I'm just saying you should live your best life and not worry so much about what Jennifer from Book Club thinks. Make yourself happy. I think I'll leave you with this quote from Cruella de Vil. From the very beginning, I've always made a statement. Not everyone appreciated that, but I wasn't for everyone. You were not meant for everyone. You were meant for you. So do you. And I think we'll leave it at that. You've been listening to Open Here, a podcast produced by the local scene of Plymouth Area Community Television. PAC TV is the community media provider for the Massachusetts towns of Plymouth, Pembroke, Kingston, and Duxbury. To see more of our content, visit pactv.org/thelocalscene. I'm Tiff Phillips. Thanks for tuning in. Let's hang out again soon. Hi friends, if you like this video by The Local Scene, share the love and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe.